Have you ever wondered what it takes to save 3,000 lives with just 40 soldiers? Today I'm going to tell you a story that will change how you think about courage, brotherhood, and sacrifice. This is a story of Checkpoint Delta, where ordinary men did extraordinary things. Captain Michael Thompson had been at Ramadi Base for exactly 6 months when everything changed. It was November 2005, and the desert sands were just beginning to mix with cold winds when Thompson and his 40 soldiers faced an order they never expected. "Gentlemen," said Colonel Richards, standing in front of the operation room's wall filled with maps, "I'm giving you a critical mission. Operation Desert Thunder will begin at Checkpoint Delta, 60 miles west of Fallujah on Highway 1. Thompson looked at the map, his experienced eyes immediately analyzing the geography. That area, it was where insurgent activities were most intense. This critical transit point between Ramadi and Fallujah was a main route for both armed smugglers and foreign fighters. "Sir, what's the scope of this operation?" Thompson asked, his steady eyes fixed on the colonel. "Top secret, Captain. But I can tell you this. During this operation, all communication traffic from 3 brigades and special forces will pass through the radio relay station at Checkpoint Delta. If that station falls..." The colonel didn't finish his sentence, but everyone understood what he meant. Thompson's 40 soldiers were mostly young, but hardened by war's cruelty. Staff Sergeant Miguel Rodriguez, a tough 34-year-old from San Antonio, Texas, was Thompson's most trusted man. Sergeant Darnell Williams, a 32-year-old warrior from Detroit streets, had become one of the unit's most valuable tacticians. Specialist Kevin Miller, only 20 but famous throughout the brigade for his sniper skills. Lieutenant Robert Barnes, a 26-year-old West Point graduate, was learning war's realities under Thompson's protection. Preparations took 2 days. Thompson used this time to plan every detail. He studied satellite images of Checkpoint Delta, analyzed the surrounding geography, identified possible attack routes. In the final briefing, he gathered his soldiers around the large table. "Boys, our job looks simple. We're going to protect that radio station. But the reality is far from simple. According to intelligence reports, insurgent activity in this area has increased 400% in the past 2 weeks. Foreign fighters, local militias, former Iraqi army officers. They're all going to target that station." Specialist Miller raised his hand. "Sir, when will reinforcement arrive?" "Miller, there is no reinforcement. The nearest friendly forces are 150 miles away. Until the operation ends, it'll just be us out there. 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, nobody knows for sure." The convoy left Ramadi Base at 0500 on November 6. 4 up-armor Humvees, 1 Bradley fighting vehicle, 1 M113 personnel carrier, and a heavy logistics truck. To reach Checkpoint Delta, they would have to make an 8-hour difficult journey through rugged desert terrain, passing through enemy-controlled areas. Thompson stood in the turret of the lead Humvee, behind the .50 cal machine gun. As he looked into the desert's infinity, calculations constantly ran through his mind. Every hill, every wadi, every bridge was a potential ambush point. The first 2 hours passed quietly, but Thompson's experience gave him unease. It was too quiet, suspiciously quiet. In the 3rd hour, right after passing Checkpoint Bravo, the first problem began. IED attack. IED. Rodriguez's voice echoed from the radio. A massive bomb made from 155 millimeters rocket remnants exploded 50 meters ahead of the lead Humvee. As soil erupted like a geyser, shrapnel pieces hit the armored windows of the vehicles. Thompson immediately commanded, "All units, contact ID, assume defensive positions. Miller, overwatch position. Williams, check that lead vehicle for casualties." The convoy immediately went into combat formation. Humvees took semicircle positions. The Bradley moved to overwatch position. Soldiers got out of vehicles, creating 360-degree defense. Miller climbed to a nearby hill with his Barrett .50 cal sniper rifle. Overwatch position set. No visual on enemy combatants. Williams checked the lead Humvee. Vehicle damaged but operational. No casualties. Windshield cracked, front bumper bent. After 15 minutes of security checks, the convoy could continue on its way. But this was just the beginning. At 1,400 hours in the afternoon, the convoy entered the most dangerous section of Highway 1. This was known as Death Valley, a narrow pass between two high hills. It was a perfect ambush point. All units, weapons tight, were entering Death Valley. Maximum alertness, Thompson commanded. Right then it began. First from the left hill, then from the right hill. AK-47s, PKM machine guns, RPGs. Contact! Contact! Ambush left and right. Thompson directed the .50 cal toward the left hill, suppressing enemy positions by fragmenting rocks with heavy bullets. The Bradley's 25mm cannon swept the right hill. Miller, do you have visual on enemy positions? Roger, sir. Multiple muzzle flashes. I count at least 15 to 20 fighters. The battle lasted 20 minutes. PKM bullets hit the Humvee's armor. RPGs exploded at close points. Thompson's right ear went deaf from a bullet that passed close by. Williams, take your team, flank left. Rodriguez, suppressive fire on right ridge. Williams and 4 soldiers moved to flank the enemy from the left. Rodriguez's team suppressed the enemy on the right hill with intense fire. Miller's Barrett spoke. Target down! Enemy machine gunner eliminated. Enemy fire decreased, then stopped completely. The insurgents had withdrawn. Damage assessment. 3 wounded, light shrapnel wounds. 2 Humvees with minor damage. But the convoy was still mobile. They reached checkpoint Delta as the sun was setting. The checkpoint was much smaller and harder to defend than Thompson had expected. An old Iraqi army outpost with 4 towers, with a radio station consisting of 3 high antennas in the center. Around it was 200 meters of open terrain, then rugged desert. Thompson surveyed the position. Defensive nightmare, he muttered. At that moment, dust clouds were approaching from the distance. Thompson immediately gave the alarm. Incoming vehicles. Everyone to defensive positions. The arriving vehicles weren't enemy. They were 2nd Marines who would hand over the checkpoint. Their commander, Captain McDonald, with bloodshot, tired eyes, summarized the situation to Thompson. Thompson, welcome to hell. For the past 3 days, we've been under constant harassment attacks. Mortar attacks, sniper fire, IED, probe attacks. This place is surrounded by hell. And when this big operation starts, McDonald shook his head. God help you, brother. After the Marines left, Thompson assigned duties to his soldiers. Listen up. Tonight is our first real watch. Rodriguez, take Alpha Team, 12 men. Position at the East Towers. Williams, Bravo Team, 10 men, to the South position. Barnes, you take Charlie Team, 8 men, and control the West Wall. Miller, you're in Central Overwatch position with Delta Team, 5 men. The remaining 5 are with me in communication security. Night fell at 2,300 hours. The first attack was mortars. 82mm mortars, probably from old Soviet stock. Incoming. Incoming. Williams' filled the radio. The first mortar shell exploded 20 meters from the East Tower. Soil and debris erupted like a geyser. The second shell was closer, falling outside the south wall. The third, direct communications building. Alarm bells rang in Thompson's ears. The radio station was damaged but still operational. Counter battery fire. Miller, do you have eyes on their mortar position? Negative, sir. No muzzle flash visible. They're using remote firing systems. The mortar bombardment lasted 10 minutes. Then it suddenly stopped. Silence. Deadly silence. Then the real test began. From the east, west, south, muzzle flashes sparked from every direction. AK-47s, PKMs, RPGs. Contact. Multiple contacts. All directions. Thompson commanded from the central position, while bullets whizzed around him. Suppressive fire all positions. Do not let them close. The battle lasted until dawn. When the sun rose, damage assessment was heavy. 6 wounded. East tower seriously damaged. Large breach in south wall. West position partially collapsed. But most importantly, the radio station was still working. The second night was much worse. This time it was a coordinated, professional attack. It began at 0130 hours. First, a feint attack from the east to divert attention. Then the real attack came from south and west simultaneously. Sir, massive contact south and west. At least 40 to 50 fighters. Thompson ran to the south position. Williams and his men were under heavy fire. PKM bullets were shredding sandbags. RPGs were opening the wall. Williams, status. Sir, we're getting overrun. They're at the perimeter. Need reinforcement now. Thompson immediately radioed. Rodriguez, take half of Alpha Team. Reinforce south wall immediately. The situation was also critical on the west side. Barnes's voice was panicking. Our west wall breached. They're inside the perimeter. This was the critical moment. The enemy had approached within 50 meters of the radio station. Thompson formed the last line of defense with 5 soldiers protecting the communications building. This is it, boys. They shall not pass. Hand-to-hand combat began. Thompson fought with Insurgent, while PFC Morrison grappled with another attacker nearby. In the darkness, muzzle flashes flickered like a strobe light when Rodriguez arrived with reinforcement. The situation was critical. Thompson's group was making a last stand right in front of the communications building. The battle lasted 4 hours. The breach in the south expanded. The west wall completely collapsed, but the radio station was protected. Miller's final shot ended the battle. Target down. Enemy commander eliminated. The fall of the enemy commander completely broke the attack's momentum. The insurgents withdrew. On the third day, a critical intelligence report came. Thunder 6, Thunder Base. SIGINT indicates massive final assault tonight. Estimated 100 to 150 fighters, possibly including foreign technicals and heavy weapons. Thompson gathered his soldiers. 28 remained combat effective, 12 wounded but able to fight. Gentlemen, Thompson's voice was calm but serious. Tonight is the final exam. According to intelligence, at least 100 fighters, heavy weapons, technicals. The odds are mathematically against us. Silence. Everyone knew the reality. I won't lie to you. This is do or die. We all know that if the station falls, 3,000 of our brothers in Operation Desert Thunder will be left blind and deaf. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez spoke, his voice determined. Sir, respectfully, we didn't come this far to give up now. Hurrah! All soldiers shouted in unison. The final assault began at 2,200 hours. This time with professional, coordinated, overwhelming force. First came heavy mortar bombardment. 82 millimeters, 120 millimeters, even 155 millimeters artillery shells. An iron rain fell on Checkpoint Delta. The bombardment lasted half an hour. Then it stopped. Silence. Death silence. And it began from every direction. AK-47, PKM RPG, recoilless rifles, even direct mortar fire. All units. Final defensive positions. This is it, boys. Thompson commanded from the central position, while chaos grew around him. The east tower was completely overrun. Williams' south position was cut off. Barnes was wounded, and the west wall completely collapsed. Sir, east tower overrun. Sir, Williams cut off. Sir, west wall completely breached. Sir, we're running critically low on ammunition. Thompson had to make the most critical decision. Either protect the radio station and sacrifice his soldiers, or save the soldiers and fail the mission. But Thompson knew the essence of leadership. Rodriguez, take 10 men, go get Williams. Miller, provide overwatch cover. But, sir, that leaves communications with only skeleton defense. Do it. We leave no one behind. The most critical moments. The radio station was protected by only Thompson and 8 soldiers. Insurgents were 20 meters away, approaching fast. Sir, there at the communications building. As Thompson emptied his last ammunition, divine intervention occurred. Helicopter sounds from the distance. Apache inbound. Apache inbound. 2 Apache H-64 attack helicopters appeared in the sky, running lights off, flying low and fast. Thunder 6, this is Apache lead. We have visual on your position. Heavy enemy concentration. Request immediate danger close fire mission authorization. Apache lead, you are cleared hot. Danger close authorized. The Apache's 30mm chain guns and Hellfire missiles devastated insurgent positions. The enemy fire suddenly stopped. The attack was repelled. Thompson counted his soldiers, 18 wounded, but miraculously 0 Kia. The next morning, reinforcement arrived. Colonel Richards landed from an Apache. Thompson, status report. Sir, checkpoint Delta secure. Communications operational throughout entire operation. Mission accomplished. Son, preliminary reports came in. Thanks to this station, Operation Desert Thunder was completely successful. 500 square miles cleared. 3 major insurgent strongholds eliminated. The lives of 3,000 soldiers depended on the communications link you held. Thompson looked at his soldiers. Sir, we just did our job. 3 months later, Thompson reunited with Rodriguez stateside at Fort Bragg. Sir, why did you decide to go save Williams that final night? We risked the mission. Thompson's answer was simple. Rodriguez, you can replace equipment, you can retake positions, you can restart missions. But if you lose a soldier, they never come back. We leave no one behind. This wasn't just a military operation story. This was a story of leadership, brotherhood, and sacrifice. Those 4 days at Checkpoint Delta changed each soldier's life forever. 40 soldiers went to Checkpoint Delta. 40 soldiers came home. Mission accomplished, brotherhood preserved, honor intact. In military terminology, this was a successful operation. In human terms, this was a miracle